In this video, we will discuss different focal lengths and their effects on your photos and storytelling. It depends. That's the shortest answer to what the best focal length is. It depends on what you intend to capture. It depends on your style and what look you want to achieve. But if you're a beginner, you might not know your style and where to start. So that's where this video fits in. I'm hoping to provide a starting point and ideas on what you can achieve with different focal lengths, which might help if you're looking for your next prime lens. Let's start with my longest lens, a short telephoto, the 70mm. Telephoto lenses are typically used to capture distant subjects, allowing us to become observers from afar. Telephoto lenses also compress space, making the image appear flat. I use this focal length on those days when I'm not too confident in taking photos up close. Having distance between me and subjects allow me to take my time finding a good frame or composing for a shot. This focal length is an excellent choice if you want to capture street portraits, details, or scenes from the other side of the road. Let's look at some examples. Next are the normal or the standard lenses, the 50mm and the 35mm. The focal length of standard lenses is the most similar to how our eyes see the world. Standard lenses are ideal if we want to make our photos familiar and natural looking. 50mm is an excellent place to start for a beginner. If you're uncomfortable taking photos of strangers, it will give you a bit more space but not remove you from the action. You are still part of the scene. 50mm is a good choice if you want to isolate a subject from the environment while still retaining some context. Here are some images taken with the 50. If you want to include more context to the shot, use the 35mm. The 35mm is the most natural looking, in my opinion. For this reason, it is the easiest to use. What you see with your eyes is very close to the frame that you see in the viewfinder. It provides a perfect balance in including both the subject and the environment. Check out these photos. Sometimes, even the 35 is not wide enough, so there are even wider options such as the 28mm. With this, you can capture a subject and many of the background elements. You have to be mindful of distortion as wide-angle focal lengths tend to exaggerate features. In general, the wider you get, the harder it is to use. You have to be more intentional in what to include and exclude in the frame. Going for the widest focal length with the intention to crop in post might also be a viable option, but I personally wouldn't suggest it. Let's look at some photos from this focal length. If you still need help in choosing a focal length, these questions might help. What look are you trying to achieve? Do you want the viewer to feel like they are part of the scene? Or do you want them to feel like they are observers from afar? What story are you trying to tell with your photos? Are you likely to focus on a subject or a scene? Does having more context to your shot add to the story, or will it likely distract the viewers? How comfortable are you in taking photos of strangers? How close are you willing to go? I would recommend starting with the 35mm for street photography. I think it's the most natural looking, which for me is a good thing. I know for some, natural looking means boring, and I understand why. There's no right or wrong on which is the best focal length, so ultimately, you have to find what works best for you. Those are my thoughts about focal lengths and how I use them. If you want more straight out of the camera photos for reference on what you can get with each focal length, check out the No Edit series on the left side of the screen. If you already have a preferred focal length, check out the On the Street series on the right. Please share the video if you found it useful. See you next time!